Unfortunately, it's too late for you. You will not live to see the dawn.
Hey guys, this is Vampire Bride, and that's right, I'm doing a review of Resident Evil 5. I was concerned about doing this review as there are so many others out there for Resident Evil 5, but I got to watching some of the videos and I realized that they're all very similar. They all complained that they didn't care for the controls, that they wouldn't really classify it as a horror game, and that the storyline isn't very good, especially when compared to other Resident Evil games. While I agree with these statements to an extent, I have a slightly different perspective that I would like to bring to the table. Okay, so Firehawk Formula and I have put many hours into this game. He has played it so many times that he knows it like the back of his hand. He can tell you where each jewel can be found and where every BSAA emblem is. And though I have not put nearly as many hours into it as he has, I have a couple of playthroughs under my sleeve. Now, you know, to be able to put that much time into a game, it has to be pretty darn good. I'm really not a fan of QuickTime events, but it really works in this game. It's done pretty well, and it gives you enough time to click the button. It's not unfairly hard like it is in some games where you sit there and die over and over. Once I get the button combination down, I'm usually pretty well off. I think that it's a quite outstanding game. I think that it's a good length at 5 to 6 hours long, keeping it from being repetitive or getting boring. It keeps it interesting. It has some witty remarks like, "Oh, another locked door," or some of the things that Sheva says when you call her to you. Okay, so let's talk about Sheva. She makes Resident Evil 5 great fun to play with friend. But when using her as an AI, she can be a pain. I'll give it to her at times when you're surrounded by enemies. If you give her the right weapon, she can be quite helpful. I found a sniper rifle to be her strong suit, and when giving a pistol, she's completely useless. She'll waste all the ammo and then follow closely behind you, saying that she's out of ammo and preventing you from being able to shoot or get away from the oncoming enemies. Other times, she will just stand there and get attacked and then call for you for help instead of fighting off the horde of enemies. For the most part, I think the controls are good, but they do have their issues. You cannot move while your knife or gun is drawn, which is really difficult in a game like this, where it is pretty necessary to keep moving almost constantly to keep out of harm's way. But I've also heard many complaints about the inventory system and how you manipulate it, and I actually think that it was very well done. While it can be a little difficult to change items around without actually pausing the game, I think it really gives it more of a realistic feel. It's also quick and easy to move things around, whether it's combining first aid spray, trading items with Sheva, or moving your ammo around. It makes it easy for even an inexperienced player. I'm not really one for horror games, so I'm happy with how Resident Evil 5 is with that. It doesn't keep you quite as on edge as many classified horror games, but to me it still has that feeling of constantly fighting for your life as you go through each level. The game did have a few minutes that made me jump, like when a big enemy comes out or you hear that dreaded chainsaw. Maybe it's not like your classic horror games, but it is just the right amount of scare and suspense for me. I haven't played any of the other Resident Evil games as of yet, so I cannot rightfully compare the combat or even the story of this game to the others, but Resident Evil 5 as its own game, in my opinion, has a good story. No, it isn't mind-blowing, but it is good. It keeps you wanting to get to the end and defeat your nemesis. It has you wondering till near the end why his old partner is on the enemy side. I greatly enjoyed this game. I even enjoyed replaying it just to get some footage for this video. I love how the game makes you think, trying to figure out how you have to kill each enemy, as the harder ones and bosses have specific ways to defeat them. It is entertaining all the way through, and definitely has great replayability value. As you earn more weapons, you can keep them going into your next playthrough and get through the enemies much quicker. What do you think about Resident Evil 5? Do you agree with my points in this review? Let me know in the comments below.